this lesson, we're going to go over a concept known as mirroring. Mirroring is useful when you want to create an object that's symmetrical. So for instance, let's say we wanted to take this cube and we wanted to kind of have it come up in this way and in this way. Well, one of the ways we could do that is we could modify one side and then modify the other way to match. But that doubles the amount of work that we have to do. Instead, we can use a modifier known as mirroring. Let me show you how this mirroring works. The first thing that mirroring uses is something we haven't paid attention to, and that's called the object center. So right here, this object has a center of the cube, and this is just my starting cube. But the center of the cube is that pink dot that's right there. Okay, and it's at the actual center of the cube. Blender uses the center to do things like rotation. So if I rotate it, it rotates it around the center of the object. Okay. Now you can change the center of that object. One way to do it is to go under this menu, which is under the Edit menu. I've got Center, Center New, and Center Cursor. So for example, if I went out here and put the cursor right here, and then I click Center Cursor, it moves the center of the cube all the way out to this point. Now if I rotate it, notice how it rotates it around the new center. Okay. What I usually want to do for mirroring is I want to put the center right on the edge of the object. Think of the center as where the mirror is going to be held up. Okay, so I'm going to click on the cursor. I'm going to put the cursor by clicking on it. I'm going to put the cursor right here. I'm going to grab it. I'm actually moving the object instead of the cursor, but it doesn't matter. And then I'm going to say Center Cursor. Okay, now the center of my cursor is right on this edge. Okay, notice I'm in the plane where Z is this way and Y is this way. Okay. What I do is I go into Edit mode, and then under Edit mode I'm going to use a modifier. Now this kind of drives me crazy about Blender. There's more things on this menu. It's just that they're off to the edge. Okay, so if my mouse, if my arrow is on this menu bar down here, and I hit minus, what it does is it shrinks, it shrinks the size of this stuff. And now all of a sudden I see this new thing called modifier. It was there before, but if I hit plus, you see that it goes off the screen. Okay, so I'm going to add a modifier to this object called the cube, and the modifier that I'm going to add is called the mirror. Okay. Now I can add the mirror in the X, Y, and Z. What that means is if I add the mirror in the Y, the mirror will be set up here. If I add it in the X, or in the Z, the mirror will be set up here. So watch what happens if I add it in Z. Okay, so I'm going to click on that Z button. Now I'm going to select Alt-A, so I deselect all of those just by hitting A, and then I'm going to hit B, and I'm going to grab a box around here, and I'm going to grab that box. Okay, notice. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm moving it in the wrong direction. I'm sorry, but I set the mirror in the wrong way. I don't want it in Z, I want it in Y. Okay, so I'm going to go back to Y. Okay, and now I'm going to grab it. Now X and Y and Z are both selected, which means whatever I do, it's going to mirror it both in the Y-axis, which is that green line, and the Z-axis, which is the blue line. Okay. Now I didn't mean to set those both up that way. What I meant it to do was just be mirroring in the Y. Okay, so you can select multiple buttons at the same time. Okay, so now notice that while I'm moving this cube, I'm actually moving both I'm creating a mirror image of it. Okay, so now if I click here, I can keep doing it. I can extrude edges, and so see how it mirrors it. Now because Y is clicking, the mirror is only in the Y-axis. I can size. Whatever I do, it's just going to create the exact picture on the other side. And then after I'm done with my mirroring shape, what I do is I go back into object mode, and then under my modifiers, I hit apply. And once I apply it, it locks in the mirroring. It kind of so that from now on, if I change one, it doesn't change the other side. Okay, so now I can go back into edit mode. I can do A to deselect them. I can do B, and I can pull it just in this direction. Okay, because now what I've done is I've applied the mirror so that in a sense the object is no longer being mirroring. Okay, so the mirror object, the mirror modifier takes a lot of getting used to, because you have to start thinking about where the mirror is being set up and whatever. But if you want to create an object that's perfectly symmetrical, and you're going to change things on one side and you want the other side to change in the same way, mirroring is the way to do it. So let me show you again how that works. Okay, I'm going to start with new. Okay, first you got to move the cursor out to one of the edges. Okay, so I'm going to move it out by clicking here. I'm going to set the cursor. Now I can mirror it way out here. Watch what happens if I define this as the center. Okay, I'm going to center the cursor here. The mirror will be held up right here. And because there's a distance in this direction, the object will start mirroring in the same offset in this direction. So watch what happens. I'm going to go into edit mode. Again, I have to do minus, which is on my number pad, to be able to see this add new modifier. We're going to go to mirror. Okay. And notice I'm in that x-axis, and I'm mirroring it in the x-axis. Okay. But because my center is way off here, my mirror object is way over here. But again, whatever I do to the right side will happen in the mirror. So I'm going to do A, I'm going to do B, I'm going to grab it, and notice how as I grab it, it changes. And then when I'm done, maybe I'm going to do E to extrude, and then S to size. And then at the very end, notice if I try to apply it now, it'll say you can't apply it in edit mode. So you got to go back to object mode and then hit apply. Until you hit apply, it's going to keep mirroring whatever you do. But once you hit apply, it locks it in. Okay, so now we see this shape that I made. I don't know what it looks like through there. And if I render it, we see that I've created these identical shapes. Now because the cursor was way off the edge of it, the mirror is kind of far away. Picture putting the cursor right on the edge as putting your nose, the tip of your nose, right on a mirror. The reflection of your nose will start almost touching your nose. But if you step way back, the reflection will step back from the mirror too. So there's the lesson on mirroring. It'll come in handy as we do things to simple meshes that we want to be symmetrical.